good day to everybody watching this podcast. I'm Gazal Raina, and on behalf of Milaap, I welcome you to join us for an interesting panel discussion with three guests whom I love talking to, love listening to, and whom I have the pleasure of sharing this online panel discussion with today. Milaap is a social support group that we started in 2019 with an intention to create a safe space for parents and families who experience parental alienation, a phenomena where one parent is willfully kept away, removed, or denied access from their children. Milaap also furthers the cause of co parenting with a firm belief that every child needs the love and support of both their parents. Over the last 5 years, Milaap has grown to become a collective of parents, grandparents, children, experts around the world who come together to create change and advocate the need for shared parenting in divorced families. I started this group myself with my own experiences with alienation and as a service to provide people safety, growth, and aid through a collective forum. Today's conversation is part of a large number of talks that we have attempted with experts on topics ranging from legal aid, family and child counseling, self healing, financial literacy, gender issues, all topics we felt can help members and the world at large. More than anything else in the world, children deserve safe spaces of love and nurturing from their families and the world at large. This is no longer a luxury, but as basic as water, food, in a world full of crisis. This three-part podcast series is our attempt to explore a facet of the lives of our children that remain unexplored or rather unexplained. Every year around Children's Day, Milaap attempts to create meaningful conversations for and about children around the world with a promise to create more awareness on how we can make their worlds a better and safer place. At Milaap, today we have geared up three amazing speakers to create an interesting set of conversations on topics with a focus on well-being of children when faced with rapidly changing family dynamics. In this series, we intend to cover various aspects of this topic with a focus on their well-being and which will address contemporary family structures, children in various settings like single-parent homes, adopted children, high-conflict families, joint family setups, single children of working parents, and others. And through the conversations with our panelists, we aim to bring together a diverse set of perspectives, expert opinions that will set forth ideas for change and help to throw light on the topic. I'm extremely happy, extremely proud to introduce our three panelists today. Professor Sunitha Mani, the Dean of the Emotional First Aid Academy, a true force in the mental health advocacy. She's also the founder of Emotional First Aid course, which is a beginner's mental health certification to be accredited by the State University of New York and now recognized by HSSC India. She's also a pioneer in the mental health education. She designed the Apollo Med Skills curriculum, and Professor Mani's dedication extends her work. She extends her work with trans people, showcasing her commitment to inclusivity and support. She's the recipient of the prestigious Iconic Women Transforming Lives Award from the Women Economic Forum in 2022. Professor Mani's influence is felt worldwide. Her unique approach, merging psychology with medical humanities, philosophy, social cultural study of human behavior, equips us with the tools to conquer challenges around mental health narrative in India. She recently covered the issue of parental alienation in her series, The Emotional First Aid Show, Caught in Parental Wars. And we are very grateful to her for giving this time and her voice to this topic. Very warm welcome to you, Sunitha. I also have Dr. Vikram Srivastava, Managing Partner. Welcome. I also have Dr. Vikram Srivastava, Managing Partner, independent law firm. He's got 23 years of human rights law development experience with urban, rural, and scheduled area exposure within India. He has a strong working and theoretical grounding on human rights, child rights, and governance issues. He's been involved in various roles, including policy drafting, legal interventions, research, training, and advocacy. program strategy, program implementation, monitoring and evaluation, campaigns and communication, planning and advocacy. He's also been involved in research studies and evaluation of projects. He's a regular writer. He's got 2 books and several articles to his credit. Vikram has worked with Marg and Cry before founding independent Thought, I Thought, which is also available at www.ithought.in. It's a national human rights organization working towards equity, justice, and mutual respect. Milaap is very fortunate to have him as a mentor, and he is featured in many of our forums and discussions to share his views on shared parenting and custody matters. Dr. Vikram, very, very pleased, warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste to everyone. Yeah.
Namaste. And I also have the pleasure of welcoming Kashmira Jaiswal. She's the Vice Principal of Navrashna School, Baroda. She's an experienced education leader. She's held the position of Creative Director, Head Pedagogy and Innovations, an extremely efficient coordinator, Head of the English Department in the past, and has demonstrated a history of efficiently working with primary, secondary education industry. She's very skilled in teacher training, student skill development programs, leadership programs, soft skill training, personality development. She holds a mastery in communication skills, critical and creative thinking skills, theater, public speaking, editing, educational technology, and curriculum design. She has a master's degree in linguistics focused in international education leadership and administration, and she was also awarded the ILEP fellowship, having studied at the College of St. Rose, Albany, New York. Very warm welcome to you, Kashmira ma'am, and such a pleasure to have you join us here in Milaap in a different avatar.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for watching. I know that you have shared with us a lot of feedback, your comments on the previous 2 podcasts that we have done on children in the new age families. We are talking about a third dimension, a third aspect of different angle to how children see their new reality, how families are looking at children in the new world. The topic that we are going to talk about today is actually a mixed bag of a lot of different things that I wanted to bring up to our experts, to our panelists here. The last couple of years have seen massive changes, not just in lives of adults, but those of children as well, and they don't remain untouched or I would say unshaken. So as children develop and grow their personalities from experiences, from a legacy of values that comes in from their family, from society, their extended families, it also helps them to build a strong sense of self and a purpose through those experiences. While there's a lot that's been written about the need to provide children with the right education, nutrition, values, I think some of the lesser explored facts are the dynamics that a lot of other things like the amount of technology that they handle, the wide range, the influence of COVID or post-COVID that came into our lives and our families and those of children, and that of media becoming a very strong role model for children when probably families in their traditional roles are not available or are not able to give this kind of support. So let's talk to our panelists on these 3 aspects, which I call it a mixed bag, I think, round of our third podcast. Sunitha, I'll start with you. I think COVID has been an unforgettable chapter in all our lives. We've all gone through a lot of changes. But what I wanted to ask you is, some of these changes, have they become permanent in our families and the lives of our children? And what do you think are those changes that have become permanent?
Thank you, Gazal, for bringing up something that is so relevant to most of us. It's something that we keep contemplating. Thank you for bringing up this question because I do get asked of this a lot. I think though COVID was a very, to call it negative also is a very mild terminology. It kind of shook our entire perception of health and social structure and the word modern and all these things. I think we need to look at COVID, the entire pandemic incident, with a ray of hope and a streak of positivity. So, if I have to mention what kind of changes that we are seeing, the world is changed for sure. The first thing which I'm looking at it in a positive way is people really understanding work life balance, right? People are placing that, okay, I need to experience my life, I need to live my life, I need to spend time with my children, because today people know it very close to their skin that tomorrow maybe all this can be taken away from me. So today I'm grateful that I have this. So people are coming to, into a place where they're trying to find a middle ground for work life balance, which I think before COVID, whether it's the simplest things of, just checking on our relationships, we would like, okay, I'll wait for the birthday or I'll wait for the new year, right? But now people are taking opportunities to go visit that one person, visit that one nephew, niece, whoever it is, and then spending time, which I think is a very good thing that is happening to our families and our societies, because all of us need each other no matter where we are in life. So that's definitely a good thing. The second thing is also like Mr. Vikram was saying, right? Today, the world is awakening and learning that a family is shared responsibilities because of the remote working style, and then everything happening over video, parents getting comfortable about, these changes in education system, online classes and everything. People are also realizing that, we need to share the load of running the family, and I think that does a lot of service to the family structure itself. And the third positive thing, which is very interesting, is people have become more conscious about their health and hygiene, and very openly speaking about it, and making that as a norm. It is expected that you close your mouth and your nose when you're sneezing and everything. Otherwise, in India, it would be like, okay, may all the microbes go in all directions. Like, but now people are more cognizant, even in tier 2 and tier 3 places. And I think that is a good thing, that finally somewhere we are valuing human existence, this complex mechanism. So I think COVID really taught people that it's so important to forgive oneself and others, and it also taught us the beauty of having gratitude in our life. So these are the things that I have seen in my practice.
Thank you, Sunitha. I think, yes, very pertinently brought out that while it did push us into isolation, but it also made us realize the art of socializing, even if it was virtually using technology. The fact that while we'll need our Netflix, but we will still need our nani and dadi as well. I think it did bring up a lot of extremes in our life.
Yes.
Dr. Vikram, one of the things that I've seen, maybe it could be, I also feel that the universe is bringing me a lot of media and films which talk about single parenting. Invariably, I end up picking a series which talks about single parents, a divorced family, alienation. Is it just me, or is it just, the fact that the media is really picking up a lot of these changes, the social changes, the way in which people are changing their families? How much do you think the media is able to do justice? Because you work on all sides. On all sides, when I mean, you work very closely with parents, you work with people who are litigants, you also work with children, you also you are part of the judiciary. But if you look at the media, do you think they're able to cope up and paint, I would say, a picture, or they're able to mirror what is happening in society accurately?
I think the way AI is working on algorithms, and you tend to see what you want to, and I think I see from that perspective. You on any topic today, there's an bombardment of information, knowledge from all sorts of perspective, from all sorts of angle, from um, stereotype to modern to you know ancient, same history being seen from different lenses, and interestingly all are true and conflicting even. So I think the media very smartly is um, bringing same toffee in different wrappers to choose from. It's the end of the day, it's the same toffee only. So if you ask me, one, there's very level playing which has started happening. Uh, the big medias are also struggling because um, um, Milaap's these three series is going to take away their time, their viewers' time. So I think so the challenge are very varied now. Anyone can become a singer, upload a song on YouTube. There are platforms who are pushing even homegrown singers to put their songs on, and they are also paying. They are signing contracts for sharing of revenue. So everyone is now a source of media. So today, I think the expanse is so much, and the amount and variety of information is so much. Uh, but then then this AI comes into play. Uh, you will eventually end up seeing what you were thinking. So the moment you start thinking, I don't know how they read, but they read your mind, and then you will be not in that untraveled forest. You will be taken through a new path. You will feel ki yahi hai duniya, which is I think the way I see. There's a lot and lot, and um, children are seen both. Uh, while again, I continue with that agenda that children are not a priority list for anyone, including media. But when it comes to media, children are customers for them. So I think nobody in India can claim that rhymes are not being played. If you have a child of 1 year, 2 year, 3 year old, nobody can claim कि वो बिना rhymes के they are having their food. So children are consumers. Most of your advertisements are targeted towards children. So I think it's a very um, a weird kind of a situation where you have all options. How you choose is completely on you, but that's not true. We are being guided by this AI to see certain kind of narrative, and in all these things, children are playing well. I keep saying in my training that the biggest struggle today for parents is that maybe 2-3 decades back, our worldview was very limited to whom we used to meet. So it was parents primarily, few cousins whom we used to admire or idealize, few uncles who used to be at high positions, and their way of arriving, the way of talking, the praises we used to hear about them in the family used to make us idolize those person with only those limited information. So that was very limited. Today, I think what we speak to children, which 90% get dismissed immediately as if you are idiot, so is only very small, minuscule compared to the amount of information they are going, processing in their minds. Forget the mobile, forget the internet. I'm telling you, even if a child travels 10 kilometers, the amount of print thing which is there available on the roads, the amount of reading they are doing, the the ads on the car, some sticker posted somewhere. So the amount of data they are processing, parents are like insignificant now in terms of building the idea of the world, building the the way you want your child to see the world. We have almost lost that plot. We have very limited influence. I think there is where, uh, again coming to the first in the series, that uh, how much time we need to spend with a child has to increase. If you really want to have an influence on your child, you have to increase your time with the child. If you are not able to invest that much of time, be sure they are going to be very different from what you thought of. And it might be a beautiful person also. That child may grow much beyond what our imaginations are or were, and it can be otherwise also. So I think the way things are evolving in today's world, um, um, children are from a very early age very independent. I keep sharing with people about my own child that he's just passing time with us. The moment he leaves us for college, he's in his own world, or maybe whatever profession he wishes to. It is just that the moment, this particular moment, we are able to provide him certain kind of setup which may not be of his interest. So he's just passing time. So children today are just passing time with their parents till the time you open the cage and they say, okay, I keep coming. So today's family, the way it has evolved, children who are now very independent from the mind because they are processing information beyond what parents say. So they are only passing time with you. And the early we accept it, the less uh, you know difficulty it will be to digest the next phase of life. So that's how I see. Yeah.
Thanks, Vikram. And I think you brought it back to the point about parents being aware that we are living within a world which may not be the only influence that is coming across, sweeping our children. And the one of the ways is to constantly have a social and emotional touch point with the children, of providing safety, helping them understand what are the values, what are the repercussions of the actions that they may take. A lot of times parents say that my children, our children don't listen to us, and I know at such times, from my own experience as a teacher, the parents would come to the teachers in school and say, listen, our children are not listening to us, can you tell the children to do this? And that's where, Kashmira ma'am, I want to come to you that
Just Ghazal, I'll
yes.
add a question to Kashmira ma'am also. I think this side of the structure has evolved, changed. Many parents, I won't say many, but uh, some have started realizing that change. Uh, but many are still stuck to that whole idea of I know better and I know what needs to be customized. And I think in that whole process, schools are still there in support of parents' idea. I think the schooling system has still not evolved to the needs of the today's child or today's child's mind. You will see exactly the same pattern, same way of dealing, the same way of engaging, with little say with more burdened curriculum. They have now more subjects, more chapters, more intense books. We never used to have that much. Obviously, we used to have, but I think a lot of things have got more burdened. But the structuring is the same. The methodology is the same, I think. And so that still holds strong with those set of parents who feel, we know better and we will tell you, we'll will put you in the right place so that you have a better earning in the future, uh, and you will have a happy life. So I think that challenge is still there. Schooling which we all know children spend substantial time in the schools. I think that structuring is still there.
Yeah, Kashmira ma'am, I think this was exactly what I was wanting to ask you is, has the curriculum really sort of evolved in the years, has been able to gauge these changes? I know as an educator, as a head of the school, you would have seen these changes, but what is your honest opinion on this? So on one side is the intrusion and bombardment of technology that has come into learning, and on the other side is the disconnection from the human aspect of learning, which is the reliance on technology that we all have. The first thing we want to do, we don't want to go and ask a friend or a family member, an elder, we Google, right? So how are schools seeing this, and do you think a curriculum has changed so that children can be less burdened, they can actually, the pressure can be taken off them, or it hasn't happened and that's the need of the hour? What would you want to say? Ma'am, you're on mute.
Of course, Ghazal, the curriculum has changed. The new education policy has brought in a lot of changes, and progressive schools were already doing those things. So, what Dr. Vikram was saying, he's coming from a different uh, place, is what, for example, schools do a lot of things beyond curriculum, right? But what I see from which place I sit, parents put a lot of pressure on their children. So, like I teach secondary classes also, I teach 10 and 12. And I am the kind of person who works with student leadership. We do, TEDx, and we do, events, and we do stuff like that where students are supposed to go beyond their books and curriculum and do a lot of things which they learn a lot, are happy to do, and they evolve a lot with those activities. But also on the other side, we see parents put a fetter on their, they don't want the children to do all those things. They want them to go attend their tuitions. They want them to go ace their IITs and JEEs and NEETs and everything. So one has to look at it, holistically. Of course, schools have evolved. Of course, curriculum has evolved. It is not rote learning anymore unless we are very competitive as parents and homes where we want our children to be very competitive and ace every competitive exam. And so we want them to be buried in books. But from the school's point of view, schools spend a lot of time in designing a curriculum which is full of engaging activities, engaging programs, student-led programs, so that they do solve those real-life problems. And because I come from that area, I can list a number of activities and programs that we do. So yes, Dr. Vikram, you're right. When you say schools, there are some schools, but I would also say that there are students and parents' aspirations also that hold them back from, immersing themselves into those extracurricular, since you use the word curriculum. So those are extracurricular activities which just open up the child's horizon. Do they want to take it? If it's compulsory, they will. If not, do they want to take it? Do they want to spend those other 6 hours in the tuition classes? That's a question.
Thank you, ma'am. Really amazing set of perspectives and conversation here, right from talking about the media, movies, the content, curriculum, as well as COVID, right? So I think there are a lot of C's that we covered here in this conversation. If I have to wrap up all of these, not just this conversation, but the last two podcasts that we have done, I would say there's so much of immense. I would say there is concern on things that which are not happening right, but there is also a lot of advice that has come from all three of you, for parents, for the media, for the education system. I really hope and I request everybody who's listening to also share this onward to people who would need this. I know that the change that we are expecting in the society, in the community, in our families doesn't come with probably just a bunch of people realizing that the change is imminent. It also comes with advice, it comes with advocacy, which comes from people around us. So on that note, I really want to thank you for being part of these three very, very interesting topics. I really enjoyed putting together, listening to you. Thank you so much for your time. And I do thank you for being part of Milaap, mentors for Milaap parents and the community, and for joining us for these discussions and forum time and again. So thank you so much.